Hi guys, it's Kayla and welcome back to Timo's Main Story, Chapter 8 of Love Tangle. Let's get started. Several days have passed since it became very apparent that a chasm has opened up between Timo and myself. Once again, I run into Timo in the hallway. Timo, my heart begins to ache. Even at work, our time spent together has shrunk significantly. Before, he would immediately come to me every time he had something to discuss, and he would often ask me to join him when he went to the leopard area. However, past several days, he stopped talking to me almost completely. It's great that he's getting along with other coworkers now, except now I feel lonely. I call out to him, trying my best to look and sound as casual as possible. Good evening, Timo. You're heading to work tonight, aren't you? I thought maybe I could check on the kitten for you.
That's okay. He's big enough to entertain himself now. I'll just leave him some food before I go.
Oh, I start to lower my gaze and stop myself. If I give up now, nothing will change. I haven't seen much of you lately. I miss coming to play with the kitten and sitting together discussing research articles. It takes all my courage to tell him so. Timo, however, quietly shakes his head.
Unfortunately, I can't spare you the time.
Are you trying to avoid talking to me?
No, not at all. I don't know what gave you that idea. You've got other friends besides me, don't you?
Ouch, that's so mean. Following that, he hurries off without waiting for a response. Sure enough, he blew me off again. The sound of my sigh fills the empty hallways. I can't decide if it's Timo I'm disappointed in or myself for being too weak to take the next step. I felt convinced something was bothering him and he just didn't want to talk about it, but it seems that I was wrong. He's avoiding me, isn't he? If I return to my room, I know I'll only grow more depressed, so I decide to head to the cafe. As I trudge through the cafe doorway, I notice Paul's there.
Hey, Kayla.
Paul greets me with a friendly smile. He remains positive towards me even though I haven't answered his proposal. I'm sure he must realize by now I don't wish to marry him. The question is it his kindness that prevents him from pushing me, or some sensibility that comes with being an adult? Good evening, Paul. That's right, you have the day off today, don't you?
Yep, although I'm heading into work after this.
He grimaces.
Since the leopard operation, there's been so much to do. Now it seems like I won't be able to slow down, and I actually find it more relaxing at the lab.
Is that right? Well, just don't work too hard, okay?
You too, Kayla. Thanks.
He faintly smiles.
Want some coffee? Josh isn't around, but if you want, I'll make you a cup.
No, I'm fine. Thanks. I thought I might take a break and watch some TV. I shake my head and smile back. What's gotten into me? I don't want to sit alone in my room, but I don't feel like talking to anyone else either. I take a seat on the sofa with my back towards the counter, where Paul is sitting, and turn the television on.
By the way, Kayla, if you heard the rumors, it seems Timo has a job offer.
Paul's remark, along with a suggestive tone, startles me. I abruptly turn to face him, unable to hide my surprise. A job offer? From where?
In Research Institute. Apparently, he's gaining a lot of attention from the leopard's rehabilitation.
A job offer from In Research Institute?
I don't know all the details, but it seems he had a reputation for not being a team player in the past, and the way he pulled this current team together is a big point in his favor.
Now that you mention it, Timo did have a visitor the other day.
Yeah, I heard about that. The professor? He's world famous. Timo's luck might really be turning around.
Luck, huh? I echo back without thinking. It's definitely a big chance for him. With Timo's achievements, plenty of larger research facilities should be willing to hire him. Although I agree with Paul, I can't help but feel troubled. Going to work for In Research Institute will mean Timo has to leave Kaleido. He'll have to go far, far away from me.
I'd say so. He certainly deserves a lot more respect as a researcher than he's getting. His judgments on the leopard rehabilitation was truly amazing. We'll have to throw him a party at the lab once his new job is official.
Oh no. Yeah, you're right. I feel like I'm in a daze, but I managed to give Paul's suggestion a nod.
Heck, we could even rent out Carlos for it. How does that sound?
Paul begins voicing various ideas for Timo's party. However, nothing he says makes it past my ears. Then it sounds like you and I are pushing for the same dream.
Indeed. However, in the meantime, it's important we protect these leopards.
Timo and I talked about so many things together. I begin to tear up just thinking about them all. I should be happy for Timo. This is a big step up that he's been waiting for. Except, my heart is aching and I'm not sure why. Am I upset that we share the same dream but he's getting ahead of me? No, that's not it. I'm sad that he's leaving me behind. Why can't I simply feel happy for him like I'm supposed to?
Kayla, is something wrong?
Suddenly I realize Paul has placed his hand on my shoulder. I glance up and our eyes meet. Sorry, it's nothing. I smile back, hoping to alleviate his concern.
If something's bothering you, tell me.
No, I'm fine, really. There's no way I can tell the man who proposed to me that I'm feeling sad about another man's departure. Forgive me, Paul. I regretfully hang my head. Only if I'd fallen in love with you, who knows how much better things would have turned out. Paul's my best friend. However, my feelings for him don't include love.
Look, I'm trying my best to be understanding. Please don't react like that. This business with Timo is troubling you, right? I've noticed, for a while there, it seemed like the two of you were always together, but lately that's changed.
Do you also get the impression he's avoiding me? I try to hide my feelings for Timo by feigning concern for a coworker instead.
I'm sure he has a lot on his mind, with the job offer and all.
Do you really think that's why he's behaving so differently lately?
Timo's not the most socially adept person in the world. I can see him getting lost in his thoughts. He might also be feeling bad about abandoning his position at the center of the rehabilitation team.
I suppose so.
Kayla, this is his problem, and his choice to make.
Paul wraps a comforting arm around my shoulder.
Just give him time to make a decision. If he does choose to leave Kaleido, it'll be a big step up for him, and as a researcher, a once-in-a-lifetime chance at prestige.
You're right, Paul. However, admitting that only makes my heart ache even more. There's no way I could ever consider asking Timo to stay, and yet I'm suffering now because I can't abandon the hope that he will. Suddenly I look up. I'm sure I hear footsteps, and they sound familiar. Well, look who it is. Timo! Then I notice he's at the entrance to the cafe. Paul still has his arm around me, and Timo just stands there, frowning at the two of us.
Sorry if I interrupted you.
He turns to go, leaving me with no time to think. No, Timo! Don't go! I immediately cry out. Don't go! Then it dawns on me. Now that I've got Timo's attention, I don't know what to say to him. Timo gives me a bewildered look. Sorry if I startled you. That's exactly how I feel, though. I don't want Timo to leave me. It seems that feeling was just too much for me to hold back.
Unless you have something to say, I'm heading to my room.
Oh, stay if you want. Don't worry about us. That's not what I really want to tell him. I quietly bite my lip. Paul places a comforting hand on my shoulder after witnessing the awkwardness between Timo and myself.
I have to go too. I've got work to finish.
Sure. You have work to do too, don't you, Timo? See you both later.
Later.
For reasons unknown to me, Paul then walks over to Timo, throws a friendly arm over his shoulder, and whispers something in his ear. Timo then throws a vaguely perturbed glance in my direction. However, he doesn't say anything. He does, however, immediately stop walking, whereas Paul continues on until he's left the cafe. The silence seems to go on forever. Timo and I remain completely motionless, staring at one another. Eventually, Timo breaks the stalemate.
Is it okay if we go upstairs? I'd like to talk to you alone.
That's fine. I nod, then muster the courage to stand up. We're gonna have a talk. Oh, this is such a beautiful scene. Unlike the first floor, the cafe's second floor is normally empty, making it an ideal spot for a quiet conversation.
After everything that's happened between us, I think you should know. I've received an offer from the Inn Research Institute.
I spend a moment quietly contemplating his candid admission. For some reason, Timo no longer appears troubled. Perhaps it was something Paul told him. It sounds like he's made his decision. All I can do is smile back. That's wonderful, Timo. Congratulations. Timo thinks it was the best choice.
Thanks.
Timo nods and pauses to stare at me. I really am glad for you. I really am glad for you. Your hard work paid off.
Is that so?
Definitely. We gaze at each other. The distance between us seems to become closer every second.
This is strange. When you're the one saying that. No, never mind.
What? Say it. You're making me curious. We can't talk like this anymore soon after all. He looks like he wants to say something, as a vaguely sad, lonely expression falls over him like a shadow. Timo then averts his gaze. Timo? I start to ask what it is, only to be interrupted by the sound of Lucas bounding up the stairs to join us. Arf! He runs straight up to Timo and immediately starts tugging at Timo's clothes with his teeth.
What? Do you want me to follow you?
Timo gives Lucas a puzzled look, but goes along with his request. I get the impression he's a little relieved to have our conversation cut short. Lucas saved us from a rather unpleasant situation, didn't he? I grimace to myself as I follow after them. Timo and I arrive in the inner garden to find an unusually small visitor waiting for us. A cat? I stare in surprise. The cat appears to be the reason Lucas came to get Timo.
She bears a striking resemblance to the kitten.
Timo mutters to himself, then abruptly turns and heads inside Lilac Court again. Before long, he returns carrying the kitten in his arms. Meow, meow, meow. The kitten immediately begins loudly crying out. The moment I hear his appeals, it dawns on me. The kitten's mother came for him, didn't she? Meow. Correct. The mother seems to respond in an equally loud voice. Timo sets the kitten down, and the two of them run to one another and begin snuggling. The kitten then glances back at Timo with a final distinct meow, disappears with its mother into the twilight. By the time I think to call out to the kitten, it's too late.
He's back where he belongs.
Timo mutters once the two cats have gone. Is Timo trying to lift my spirits? I abruptly put my hands on my cheeks. Is it that obvious I'm feeling sad? Don't you feel lonely to see him go? You looked after him for quite a while.
Not really. I'm used to being alone. Everything's back to normal.
A vaguely forlorn note in Timo's voice causes my heart to ache. He's back to being alone, huh? Will he react just as dryly when he leaves Kaleido behind? Unlike me, who was on the verge of busting into tears. We only knew each other for a short while, but we had some great times together. Even if we didn't fall in love, I think we've grown close. I wonder if Timo will cherish the time and the memories as much as I do. I've heard all the stories about Timo at the lab before my arrival, isolated and working by himself, but the leopard's rehabilitation helped change all that. He connected strongly with his coworkers, and the two of us became friends. Am I the only one who sees it that way? I wonder, has Timo never changed? Or is his decision to leave allowing him to return to his old self? Timo quietly heads back to his room, leaving me standing there with my head hung. We never did finish our conversation. I arrive back at my room to find Joy waiting for me. What's all that for, Joy? I greet her in her rather large burden with a puzzled look. It's clothing. I want you to look at them. She smiles and sets the clothing on the sofa. I brought a bunch of dresses, including some one-pieces that should be great for dates and special occasions. They're originally from my work, but I need to get rid of some of them to make room for the new styles coming out this season. My preference would be to give them to you, if there's anything you'd like. All the pieces Joy brought look gorgeous. Under normal circumstances, I would have loved trying them all on. However, today, I'm not quite in the mood. Thanks, Joy. Joy immediately seems to pick up on my lack of enthusiasm. She looks me in the eyes and gives me a comforting pat on the shoulder. Kayla, if something's bothering you, tell me. Uh-huh. It's obvious you'd rather talk than try on clothes at the moment. Yeah, thanks. I'm grateful for her concern. If I talk to her, will it help clear up the turmoil in my heart? Joy, I'm in love with Timo. We admitted it. I hesitantly confess. Joy looks surprised, but immediately starts to grin. You finally found love? That's wonderful, Kayla. I should have guessed a workaholic like you would be attracted to another workaholic. Yep, I definitely respect that about Timo, but he's also quite charming and kind, and even though he's a bit awkward, not to mention easily misunderstood, which I want to help him overcome. That doesn't sound like an easy task, but if you're up for it, you've got my support. Thanks. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll have the chance. It sounds like Timo won't be around for much longer. Why not? He barely finished moving into Lilac Court. Are you saying he's leaving already? People are recognizing his abilities, and he's received a job offer from a world-renowned research facility. It's a fantastic step up for him, and I should be happy, only I'm not. Then don't let him just leave. Tell him how you feel. It'll be a long-distance relationship, but you can still be a couple. She adds a quick wink for emphasis. A long-distance relationship, huh? Kayla, I think you need to try on some clothes after all. You'll have the courage to tell him if you get dressed up. Unable to hide my gratitude, I give Joy a big hug. Thanks, Joy. I can't ask for a more encouraging friend. Joy immediately hugs me back, acknowledging my appreciation. The following day, I find myself in front of the mirror, carefully checking my appearance. I'm glad Joy showed me how to do my makeup to go with this outfit. I think I'm ready. Once again, I'm grateful for Joy's thoughtfulness as I step out into the hallway, intending to tell Timo that I love him. Oh, this is so much! Alright, time for a style check. Okay, so we just need to buy this outfit, and wear it, and go! I'm so excited, you guys. Bring it on. Timo, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I know you're busy, but there's something that I have to tell you.
Okay.
When he responds, I get the impression he's a little bit tense. Are you heading to the lab after this?
I don't plan to.
Good. I immediately feel relieved.
I'm guessing you've got plans tonight, though.
Why do you say that?
Well, I've never seen you dressed up like that before.
Does it look strange? I shyly cast my eyes up at him and ask, did I use too much makeup? Maybe the outfit's a little bit too much. I wait nervously for Timo's response. A moment later, he shakes his head.
You look nice. Quite attractive even.
I'm glad to hear that. So this is what it feels like to receive praise from someone you love. I paused to savor this wonderful, previously unfamiliar emotion. I wanted to tell you this the other day in the cafe, but we got interrupted, remember? I gazed directly at Timo, determined not to run away from him or my own feelings any longer. I realize you're going, that you're leaving Kaleido, and it will be a big step up for you. But until that happens, I want to spend our time together like we used to. I can't stand having you avoid me like this. My heart starts to faintly ache. Apparently I hadn't realized how hurt I've been by his behavior lately. I want to be happy for you. After all, you're getting to chase your dreams, except right now all I feel is pain and sorrow.
Me too.
Really?
In our own ways, you and I are both fighting with conflicting emotions.
Oh my gosh, he knows he loves us too. And this is such a cute picture. Timo suddenly reaches out and firmly pulls me into his strong embrace. Timo, my breath catches as I find myself pressed up against his broad chest. His arms wrap tightly around my back, their strength conveying all the passion it seems he no longer can restrain.
I do have dreams, or one might say, aspirations as a researcher, and you would think I'd be ecstatic to be welcomed by such a prestigious institute, one I thought I would never work at, only I'm not. To be honest, I'm not sure what I feel. That's why I've been avoiding you.
Really? Why?
I can't make logical decisions when you're around. You rob me of my ability to concentrate.
Timo's voice is strained, almost a whisper. I do?
I love you, Michelle. Kayla.
That quiet voice firmly rattles my emotions. What was that? Did he just say he loves me?
I'm a man, although an awkward one, and I'm also a researcher, except I can't choose to be both at once.
Is he saying what I think he is? I silently listen to his sincere and anguished confession as he elaborates on his feelings. I worked up the courage to tell Timo and I don't regret it. However, now I can't stop the tears. He's already made up his mind. He's leaving Kaleido. Oh no! And he's abandoning me. Suddenly, all our memories together come flooding into my mind, as if I'm peering through a kaleidoscope. I collapse onto my bed and begin sobbing uncontrollably. By the time my tears have dried, all that remains is the same desire I had when I first met Timo, to understand him. I confess my love, and yet nothing feels resolved. Instead, I cry and cry. Morning arrives, and I've barely slept a wink. My outlook is abruptly changed when the phone rings. One of the Kaleido leopards has gone missing? I quickly get ready and head straight to the front entrance. Oh no! The staff member who called said it's the leopard who's supposed to be in rehabilitation.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello, Timo. When I arrive at the entrance, I run into Timo. For a brief moment, an awkward tension fills the air. This isn't the time for me to be concerned about my private life. I pretend to forget all about yesterday and address him. I just got a phone call. One of the leopards...
Yeah, I heard.
His expression looks grim. I imagine he feels the same way that I do. He's deeply concerned for that leopard, isn't he?
I called a car. Since we're both heading to the lab, you can ride with me.
Thank you, Timo. Together we hurry towards the lab. So that's the end of the chapter. Look forward to the next one.
Oh, things are taking an unexpected turn. Paul, what are you doing here? Don't you have to go? No need to do that. I'm supposed to be sleeping in the nap room right now. Are you sure you can afford to be so laid back? No problem at all. Timo is leaving Kaleido soon, and it will be the end of their relationship. I'll leave them alone for now and take care of Kayla when she gets hurt and lonely. Hasn't it ever hit you that side of you is something Kayla doesn't like about you? You don't need to tell me anything. No matter what you say, I love her. Oh well, good luck, though it doesn't look like you have any chance. I'll never give up on Kayla against Timo Salminian. Go for it. It's none of my business anyway. I just want Kayla to be happy, and I'm curious to find out what Timo decides to do.
Paul trying to sneak in. Okay guys, well that is it for this chapter. It was so crazy. I can't believe Timo loves us back. I was so worried he was gonna say he wasn't sure, but it seems his feelings are clear. We'll continue on with the next chapter next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!